Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been, I think, 4 or 5 weeks since my last video, and a lot has happened in that time period. And honestly, I was really hoping that I would have made more exciting content by this point, but that's just not happened. So a couple weeks ago, me and my family got norovirus, and it just basically put everything out of whack and we weren't feeling well at all. Honestly, it was probably like the worst virus I've ever had. Me, my daughter, my partner and my other daughter were all vomiting. It was so dreadful. It was almost like a comedy. When we first fell unwell, my daughter had been the first one to get sick because I believe she caught this from preschool, and she'd been kind of vomiting and not so well for a couple days, but I thought I was going to be safe because it had been a few days and I didn't get unwell, so I thought I was fine. And then I went to bed one night and I started to feel like I was having acid reflux. It was really strange because I've had my fair share of vomiting, you know. I've been pregnant twice. I've been very sick when pregnant. So this was different to any other kind of vomiting experience I'd had before. And I'd never had this awful feeling of heartburn before being sick. So I'm going to talk about the norovirus a little bit in this video. So if you get kind of queasy at talking about being sick and stuff like that, I would just skip ahead by a few minutes. But I thought I would share the story because it's a bit funny. Anyway, so I went to bed and I started to have really bad heartburn and acid reflux, and I just felt really weird, and I told my partner, I'm like, I have like the worst heartburn ever. I feel really ill. So I got up out of bed, and then out of nowhere I just vomited. There was like a 10-second warning and I just vomited, and then at that point I suddenly felt really nauseous, and every time I was sick the nausea would not lighten up at all. So the entire night I was vomiting. And then about 2 hours after I got up to vomit, my partner was laying in bed and he's like, I don't feel good. And he had a really bad stomachache. So he got up and then ran downstairs and I heard him vomiting. So he came back to bed, then I got out and I was vomiting. And we were basically just vomiting and vomiting all night long. Sometimes we were even vomiting at the same time. It was kind of funny. We'd both just like leap up out of bed and just vomit violently. And then the morning came round and my youngest baby woke up and just started vomiting as well. So we were not feeling well for a couple days there. I had it the worst because after my partner woke up, he stopped vomiting for the rest of the day, and he just had like a stomach pain and just didn't feel so good. She still has stomach issues afterwards, but for the whole next day I was vomiting so badly. I was so lightheaded, I couldn't eat, could barely keep water down. It was really bad. I actually fainted twice and banged my head on the floor because right as I was being sick my blood pressure would drop and I just suddenly like fell backwards and banged my head. But anyway, we're all fine now, but it was insane. The pile of washing at the end of that was like the whole kitchen floor was covered, because with this vomiting bug, unlike most nausea and vomiting, there was no warning sometimes. Suddenly it just comes out. It was really weird. Anyway, I just wanted to do a bit of a life update in this video. I thought I'd give that quick norovirus story time. I guess it's probably not that interesting to listen to. But recently I have started trying to intuitive eat. So I don't know if you can tell when you look back on my videos from a couple months ago versus now that I've lost weight. I don't know how obvious it is from my upper body, because I've always been quite slim on the top half and then carry most of the weight in my hips, butt and legs, which is probably the best way to do it. But after I moved back to England, I lost quite a bit of weight. I went from about, I think I was like 180 pounds after I gave birth, and then I think I was about maybe 160 something before I came here, and then I dropped down to the 140s. And I lost a few pounds when I first came here just because of dietary changes and changing climate, getting more exercise, so pretty normal things. And then a couple of weeks ago I decided that I'd like to start intuitive eating because I realised that I would like to lose a bit more weight, and I am really tired of diets. Every time I diet I get triggered because I have had eating disorders in the past, and every time I sort of calorie count or diet I become really food conscientious and get anxious and negative feelings towards eating, so it really isn't for me. And I had to sit down and I thought about my lifestyle and eating, and I realised a lot of the time I was eating a lot at once because I have children and I felt like I had to eat when I could, and I wasn't even always hungry. I just couldn't eat for long periods, and then because I would be with the kids, and so then when they went to sleep I would suddenly eat a lot. And so I decided I wanted to start intuitive eating and enjoying food more, and then just sort of see where my weight takes me. I thought, if I only eat when I'm hungry and I stop when I'm satisfied, my body will find its natural weight where it's supposed to be at. So that's what I've done, and I've lost a bit more weight from that. And I haven't done it perfectly, so I'm going to be honest, I would say like maybe 2 or 3 days of the intuitive eating, there have been times when I'm eating something and I really like the taste of it, and I do go to the full point, and the goal is to stop at the satisfied point. So you eat when you're hungry, and then as soon as you feel not hungry you stop eating. And there have been a couple times when I've eaten until I'm full because I made a large portion or the meal's big and it's so yummy that I don't want to stop. But I don't feel really guilty about that because people make mistakes, and I think it's okay once in a while to just eat till you're full if it's something really nice and you just want to finish it. But a couple times, yeah, I've done that, and I have my goal has also been to really try to eat healthy foods when I'm eating. And I'm not talking about just lettuce and salads. I mean, I'm having sandwiches, I'm having meat, I'm having eggs, all of that sort of stuff, but less sugar really. But sometimes, I don't know whether it's hormonal driven or what, I get a sweet tooth, and like today I ate some white chocolate because I've had a real sweet tooth. But I don't really feel guilty about it because I think it's okay if you have a craving to just give in to it once in a while, because otherwise it builds up and becomes a binge from my experience. If I crave chocolate, I have to eat it, or I'll end up having a huge binge later on. So it's just important for me to follow my cues. And I find that if I crave chocolate and I eat it, I eat much healthier in general because I've had this craving, I've satisfied it, and now I'm ready to eat other stuff. Otherwise, I'm just constantly building this craving up and it becomes just a mess. And I've just learned through that through my time of anorexia and binge eating disorder, which I'll probably talk about in the future at some point. But yeah, I just feel like I'm getting into a really positive place with food right now, and I'm very gradually starting to love myself. I don't really love myself yet, but I'm starting to accept my body and feel grateful for it. Being so unwell with norovirus also gave me a lot of appreciation for my body, getting through that and feeling okay afterwards, and breastfeeding definitely makes me appreciative of my body and what it can do. And yeah, I don't know, I feel like I've been in a more positive headspace the past few days, and I don't really know why. Maybe it's because spring is coming and there's been a bit of sunshine. But my partner was also gone for a few days at a chess tournament in Cambridge, and it was just me and the kids, and it was a lot taking my kids full time from morning all the way till late at night, because I've been lucky and had my partner at home most days. But I don't know, it gave me a whole new insight, I think, on being a mom, and I just feel like my life is improving in some ways, and I'm feeling more positive, and I'm learning how to kind of thrive a bit more on my own. Recently, me and my partner have done this sort of sleep divorce thing. There's been lots and lots of videos and controversial opinions on partners sleeping separately and whether it's good or bad. But we've tried it out because my children have been keeping my partner awake at night. My 3-year-old daughter is too scared to sleep in her own room, and so I've tried many times, but she just keeps ending up back in my room, and she's got a long-term cough, so she coughs a lot at night. And then my youngest baby breastfeeds all night and I co-sleep, and sometimes that disturbs my partner, so we decided to do a sleep divorce, which is something I've always been really against. We've had times in the past where we slept separately a couple of times because of the kids, and I felt really upset about it and really, really negative about it, and it caused some conflict between us because he had this opinion that it was... Sorry, my baby made a noise. I wanted to check she was alright, but I think she's settling herself. But he had this opinion that one of us needed to have good sleep, and it wasn't right for both of us to suffer. So we came back to this and we decided to have a bit of a sleep separation. Sorry, I'm just propping you back up. So we've agreed that one night a week we'll sleep together when my elder daughter isn't there and it's just the baby and us, because she stays with my mum sometimes. And then the rest of the week that we would sleep separately, and we've been doing that. And this time, we've tried it many times before, I felt much more positive about it, and like it's been really good for our relationship and us bonding. And it makes our time together more meaningful in the evenings because we both have more energy to give each other, and we know we're going to sleep better, and we're not resenting each other because of it, because of bad sleep. I'm not talking so smoothly now, like I feel like I'm not making as much sense because my baby started stirring, and it's like distracting me because I'm like, is she about to wake up? Do I need to speed up talking? Mum life. So yeah, I think that sleeping separately can be really positive for a relationship in the right circumstance and for the right reasons. Not because you guys have a bad relationship, but only if you're ruining each other's sleep because you have kids or one partner snores or something. But I think it's also important to have like sleepovers. What I've learned from it is like it's almost like going back to dating at the beginning where you kind of stay around each other's. We still sleep in the same room. We don't go into each other's rooms because my baby sleeps with me in my room, so he comes in my room. But I think it's almost like when you first date and then you sleep with your partner like 1 or 2 nights a week, it makes it more exciting and something to look forward to. And I don't know, I think I might make a video on that after a few more weeks and talk about my opinion on sleeping separately in a relationship, because I know that's like a super iffy topic. Anyway, I'm going to stop this video here because my partner's about to come back home and I feel really embarrassed when I'm filming and people walk in and I'm just talking to my phone. But I hope that everyone is doing really, really well. And I'm sorry that this video has been like all over the place. I didn't really talk clearly and in depth on one specific subject, but I thought I would just put a few things in here, and if there's a topic you want me to talk about in depth, whether it's eating and lifestyle, skincare, because my skin has actually really improved and I think I might make a video to do with that, relationships, mothering, anything like that, if you're interested, comment and I will make a video specifically on that topic. But anyways, I hope you are all having a lovely week and I will see you again soon.